Your everyday is a miniature lifetime. Your everyday is a miniature lifetime. That's a very interesting statement if you take time and contemplate about it a little bit. And that's exactly what I'd like to do in this short video here. Every day you wake up in the morning, this is when you were born. Then your day is usually ups and downs. You are frustrated, you are happy, you are in a good mood, you're in a bad mood, you have an argument, you are around your loved ones, you do what you love, you do what you don't like so much, and in the evening you go to sleep and you die. I think this is a very, very good example that represents how we treat our life and how we live our life and how we can improve our life. When you wake up in the morning, you always have an option, just like when you are born. Even though you are in some set of circumstances, as you mature, if we represent that with you being born, what happens in years is that you get to age 18, you are independent, you study, and then you come to a point where you can make decisions for yourself. And we're all so proud of that when we're young. We want to be, 18, start driving cars, start taking responsibilities. But as soon as that starts to happen and we start to take on responsibilities, we see that we don't want so many responsibilities, or do we? And it's the same thing with our mornings when we wake up in the morning. They can represent our youth, our young age, or when we are, in first 3 decades of our life. We learn, we take responsibility, we do something with our life, and this is what we do every morning as well. The way we start our morning is the way the whole, the rest of our day is going to be like. If we start our, morning in a bad mood, in a bad environment with negative thoughts, that's exactly how our day is going to look like. And eventually this can be replicated, and it is replicated on the majority of our life. And then throughout the day, we can still make decisions, we can still change, we're still the boss, or we are still the director of our own movie, as a lot of people put it. And I think, as I pointed out, in the evening, when we are in the late 70s, 80s, 90s, if we're strong, maybe 100, it's when we start to think about how we're going to conclude our life, and our day is the same. We can be very grateful and happy at the end of the day for the things that we have experienced, for the ups and the downs that happened throughout the day and throughout our life. Or we can be miserable because there's a lot of things that we haven't said, a lot of things that we haven't done that we really wanted to. And what I'd like to do, if you haven't figured that out already, is to encourage you that you live every day as a miniature lifetime. Because if we do that, we have an opportunity to live a life every single day. And that's magic as far as I'm concerned. And I believe, as I pointed out, the morning and the evening are very significant, times of the day. And so is in our life. First 30 years or the last 10 years are very significant in our life. Obviously, the whole thing is important. But we set the start of the day or our life the way we are. And that's why I'd like to not just encourage you to think of that every day is a miniature lifetime, more in a sense of what do you do in your mornings? How do you treat your everyday? How do you treat your ups and downs throughout the day? And how do you conclude your day? This is an encouragement, and it works for me as well, that we need to be very careful because our time here is limited. How we spend it, who we spend it with, and what are our thoughts about our goals, and how do we view all the obstacles or the bad things that we call them. I'd like to point out at this stage that if you think about it, you forget about most of the days. You don't, only the most important days you remember, either good or bad, but that's just how we label it. And what I'd also like to encourage you is there is no good nor bad days. They are just days, and we can be present in them. We can live through them and take the best out of them, even if we so call have bad experiences. The outcome is what matters, and how do we conclude the evening of our life or the day. So yeah, that I don't go too much off into philosophy. The point that I'm trying to make is live every day fully, embrace it, be present, understand that you live every day a um, a full lifetime, and that you need to make the best out of it, because that's why you're here. That's why you've been blessed with the life you have. And make sure that you start your days in a good way, with the positive thoughts, with the meditation, with the ideas on about the good things that you want to have happen during the day. And in the evening, be grateful for the day, for the experiences, be so-called good or bad. Embrace the life, live it every day, as you know, a lot of people say, as your last day, because it might as well be. So this is it for this week. Have a little bit of a uh, food for the thought material, let's put it that way. And I'll see you next week.